why dating feels so incredibly hard right now is because we currently have gender wars. But we also have an imbalance of energy. More men are now turning more passive, okay, which is deemed as feminine traits, and more women are turning more masculine. When you have gender wars, there will be no harmony. There will be no let's exist in peace. It's really every man for themselves. Women have got to a point now where they realize they don't need men for survival. So men are now panicking because in order for a man to feel good about himself, he needs to feel needed. But women don't really need you guys anymore. They don't. I know so many women who are like marriage-free, child-free, living life, happy, growing, thriving, like the list goes on. So this is the problem that men are having. The reason why it was easier for you guys to date women back in the day was because women actually didn't have options. They didn't have avenues that they can go down. So women were actually coming from a place of scarcity rather than abundance. Now, women have an abundant mindset. They don't need to settle. They do not. They actually don't. Men want us to settle because if women don't settle, then that means men aren't going to be picked anymore.
Is it men or women who are on this app complaining that the other gender doesn't approach them? Also, is it men or women who want the benefits of the patriarchy while simultaneously being anti-ing to end it?
So this guy that's been trying to take me out, finally picked a day. And so I was like, okay, well, what time and where? And he said, well, I don't know. Do you like coffee? Now, on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being super big and 0 being no big at all, can I respond never on a first date?
This is the exact attitude that is honestly exhausting for men. My honest advice is to please show this attitude off as soon as possible to the men that you're speaking to, because at least then they will have an honest take of who you are as a person and how it would be to be in a relationship with you. And then at least that man will be free to either just focus on his own peace or find somebody else to focus on.
Dating is fucking exhausting. You meet someone, you make small talk, you ask them on a date, you get to know them on this date if they show up, you have a great time, or you don't, you let them know that you had a great time after, and they will too, or they won't. But if they do, you keep the conversation going until they don't respond and fucking ghost you, so you part ways. And then you start all over again. Bye-bye, ta-ta.
Anyone unhappy with a coffee date as a first date does not want a date. They want a free meal. There's no argument against this.
I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. Like this year, man, it's been so tough. Me and dating, just overall. Dating this girl for a bit, right? It was going well. But, you know, I did everything. I honestly, I did everything. I was, you know. So I'm trying to get ready to go to the gym. Because, like, the gym just kind of just generally makes me happy. And right now, I'm just, But I look a complete mess as well. My hair's all over the shop. Oh, my goodness. I've been this girl for, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks or something. Around a great time. And, you know, I went up and beyond. You know, I did up and beyond. You know, I surprised her, went with flowers. She came over to my house. You know, I surprised her with flowers there. Got her a car. Got her like some snacks, etc. So she felt like home, whatever, right? And then, yeah, just get sent a text saying, yeah, no. I'm just like, I've really given up, really, now when it comes to dating. Like, I put all my heart in. I put everything into people, and I don't get anything back, man. And obviously it's a learning experience and all that stuff, but at the same time, I'm just like, it is tough, man. And like, I genuinely believe for me right now, I'm just gonna take a break. Like, I knew it was coming as well. It was just a tough week. You know, I wasn't really hearing from her as much, and this, and just a nail in the coffin as well, man.
Dating is horrible nowadays. People treat you like you're disposable. First mistake was doing so much.
I told you, guys are tired. Guys are tired of you. They're tired of you pretending to want to take them seriously when you really just want the free drinks. They're tired of going up to you and you being like, thanks for the drink, doing this game you do. Tired. They're tired of the takers. They're tired. They don't want to deal with any of that. They're tired of, you meet all of these qualifications, right? You got all the qualifications, and she's talking to you, and she's like, oh, but, there's this one thing. He has a boat, and it's red, and I don't like the color red. Oh, right? Because they feel like they can be so picky that they've got everything met, but they can just nitpick about everything, right? They're tired of you. You want guys to come up to you, change your attitude, change your strategy, treat them differently, and that's going to have to happen over a long period of time, right? It took decades to get here. Guys finally saying, I am done with you. And social media played a big part because now they go on socials and they see women talking all their crap. So they're like, oh, I know what's going on now behind the scenes. When I walk away after buying you that drink, I know you're making a fool out of me. They're like, I'm done. You're going to make a fool out of me? Honey, now I'm going to make a fool out of you. I'm going to sit at that bar. I'm going to drink my scotch. I'm not buying you nothing. I'm not even looking your way. That's what's going on. Change your attitude. It's going to take a long time for guys to feel like you've changed genuinely, and then you'll see. But for now, especially in the cities, guys are just sitting back with their drink, and they're just letting this drama unfold. It's hilarious. It's like, they're frazzled cats. Frazzled cats. Ooh. Very entertaining.
This is why we go find a woman in another country, because they give us the respect we deserve.
So I saw a report saying 82% of single men have officially clocked out of the dating game. And I know y'all think we're just being difficult, but honestly, half of us are just being humanitarians. I look at my bank account, my mental health, and this pile of laundry I haven't folded in over a week. And I'm like, nah, I can't drag a beautiful woman into this circus. That'd be a crime. I'm not single because I can't find you. I'm single because I'm protecting your peace. You're welcome for not ruining your year.
82% isn't enough, to be honest. Even if one simp is available, count on all women to share him because they can't breathe without validation.
Women have been trained for thousands of years to put up a finer filter for mating so they can pick the strongest, smartest, and fastest seed. The way that eventually these couples ended up together was that the man had an opportunity to demonstrate excellence. I liked how he treated his parents at church. I worked with him, and he was so good at what he did, I found myself attracted and drawn to him. Where does a man, in a world of remote work, a lack of church attendance, not going to school, where do men demonstrate excellence now?
Right.
And so what you have is there's just fewer venues for a man to demonstrate excellence. And now that everything's gone online, it gets reduced down to a small number of dimensions. And a lot of people, a lot of women now, and are trained this way a little bit from media to say, you're a strong, independent woman, and every yellow flag is a red flag. And unfortunately, online, it distills down to two basic criteria for men. Your ability to signal wealth or worth through your Rolex actually ends up in the profile picture, or you've dropped that you work at Google and graduated from Dartmouth, and your height. And I don't know if you've seen this thing online, but when they ask women, what are your minimum standards, the two most common responses or criteria are 6 feet, 6 figures. 6 feet, 6 figures. That's the basic. And the general view when you hear these women say this is that that's not a lot to ask. Just 6 feet, 6 figures. If you take out married men, obese men, and men over the age of 50, that's 2% of the population.
Modern women have become delusional in their expectations from the dating market. Well, I believe that is the truth right there. It's absolutely right. 6 foot and 6 figures. That's the man that they want nowadays. If you anything other than that, they don't want you.
80% of single men aren't dating anymore. Not because they can't, because they're done trying. Most men learned the hard way that effort is no longer rewarded, it's exploited. They watched consistency get labeled as boring, commitment treated as weakness, and boundaries punished with silence. So they adapted. Modern dating taught men one lesson clearly. The more you invest early, the less you're valued. Psychologists call it reward imbalance. When input consistently outweighs outcome, motivation collapses. A 2023 Pew study showed single men are far more likely than women to say dating is exhausting and not worth the effort. Men didn't become lazy. They became strategic. They saw. Attention given freely to men who did nothing. Loyalty mocked as desperation. Rejection framed as self-growth. Standards rise while accountability vanished. So men redirected their energy into work, into solitude, into discipline, into control. Stoic philosophy calls this withdrawal of investment from unstable systems. When a system no longer rewards virtue, the wise man disengages. This isn't bitterness. It's pattern recognition. Men aren't chasing because chasing stopped making sense. They're not lonely, they're selective. They're not afraid of women, they're tired of games. Silence isn't weakness. It's a response to disrespect. And the men who walked away, they didn't lose value. They reclaimed it.
The courts are the problem. We can handle women, no problem. We can date someone who is a terrible person because we can just walk away. That is nothing to men. We are destroyed by the courts who shouldn't be involved in the matters of love.
Sometimes men disappear because they feel like their effort is not being reciprocated.
Talk about it.
So hear me out. A lot of women feel like their approach to dating is, you as a man have to prove to me you are worthy of my time, my energy, and me being more vulnerable to you. And because of what you've been through, you think that's the right way to do it. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with a man who's actually serious and he's seeing you're holding back, you got walls up, he has concerns that you're wasting his time. So now he falls off because he's like, all right, she's tripping, she's not really making any effort. But because there's still a desire there, because he still likes her, I think the comment, the like, is a temperature check. Let me see how she'll respond. Let me see if I can still reignite something here. But it all stemmed from, are we actually making a mutual effort to get to know each other?
Okay.
So just make sure, before you start throwing all kinds of accusations at the man, ask yourself, was I coming correct in this process or not?
Cook up, sir.
If you have to try so hard, the lady doesn't like you. The guy she likes isn't doing it all for there. That's why she is there with you.
So you're 23 and you're opting out of dating because women all hate men and it's impossible to find a good woman. And when I ask you, well, where have you been looking for women? You say Tinder, or the bar, or the club. Yeah, no, for sure. Have you thought about, like, maybe attending a church? Right? Somewhere maybe a more morally strong woman might go to? With, values that you might concur with? Well, I've thought about it, but I don't want to wait until marriage to have sex. Okay, then opt out of dating. I don't give a shit. Bro, are you genuinely... All you guys in my comments are like, I tried all the dating apps, but...
Church is where the Hall of Fame players go when they retire. Dating market is worse than the housing and car market.
Let me explain to you right now why men have it harder in dating. And I'm not trying to cause some sort of gender war. I just want people to understand what men are going through right now, especially in 2024. If you break dating down, there's two main focuses of dating. One is getting some traction with people. So you are actually getting some traffic. You're going on dates. You have opportunities to even get a date. That's part one. And then part two is filtering. It is feeling out if this person is going to be a good fit with you. If you vibe with them, you want to see if it's a good match. So again, part one is getting people in the door, and part two is this person a good match? Now, with that being said, men have to do parts 1 and 2. Women only have to do part 2. Let me explain. You see, women get hit on all the time. They get DMs, they get approached, they have lots of options online. Men at default do not have that. So women only have to focus on one part, and that is the filtering. Men have to focus on both parts. They need to get to the point where they actually have enough options. Now, I can hear women now, they say, well, yeah, I have all these options, but none of them are good. Well, what do you think the guys are going through? When a guy gets to the point where he has a lot of options, there's also not a lot of good options. None of us have good options. There's only going to be a select few people that we actually match with.
What options are you talking about, brother? There are no options left, sadly, unless you're a Chad who just wants to bang and ghost.
I have, across platforms, probably over 800,000 followers that are all single men. That's why they follow me for dating advice. And I get thousands of messages every day from attractive guys that cannot get a date. And the messages are fucking sad. Girls are not aware of the crisis out there that men are facing in the dating world. I don't think you can speak on it because you don't know about it. You don't see them. You have no idea how sad it is. I cry about it when I read the messages.
I listen to a lot of men. I listen, I observe, and I judge. I listen to these guys talk about their relationship problems or their dating problems, their love life issues, whatever it is. And I'm hearing the same shit. You guys are doing all the same shit. And it's really fucking annoying. You guys don't listen. You guys don't care. You guys are just being selfish little assholes. And I'm not saying that women are these perfect, little angels either. But from what I'm hearing from a lot of different guys, different ages, different races, different everything, you guys are doing the same shit. You guys are chasing after women, which is fine. You're chasing after a bunch of women when you're broke, you're out of shape, you don't have a car, you don't have a career, you don't have a plan, you don't have anything going for yourself. And that's going for the older guys, guys that are in their late 20s and up. You guys are not even in a position to be dating. Because me, myself, I'm not happy dating when I'm broke or anything. I'm not a happy person. I'm not a good person. I don't like myself when I'm out of shape. I don't like you know what I mean? You're chasing after women when you should be focusing on yourself. Also, when you're chasing these women, you're doing everything for yourself. You want this girl to do everything for you. You want her to show up for you, make you feel good. You want her to do you favors. You guys are way too comfortable asking women for favors. You guys are very comfortable asking women for time when you're not really doing anything. You probably aren't even really as great. You're not as great as you think. The time spent with you is not as fun for her as it is for you. Does that make sense? And you guys also don't know these girls. You're not getting to know the women. You just you're obsessed with having women and getting the women. And I feel a lot of guys are obsessed with just women liking them. They're obsessed with validation. Yeah. So that's what I'm observing, and that's what I'm judging. I don't like it.
We don't want to be taken as walking ATMs. The dating pool is full of single moms that don't want a family, but stability for their own.
Let's talk about why dating feels so hard as an average man. The first reason is due to the rise of dating apps and social media and how it's made the dating market just so much more hyper competitive. Obviously, as a man, you understand, right? Women are always going for the best man possible. Women want to date up. And back, before the days of the internet, 30, 40 years ago, the way you'd meet the women, the women in your dating pool would be the women in your town, the girl you go to church with, the girl who's in your class, who you go to the gym with. So basically, in order to be an eligible partner, you had to stand out in, a pretty small group of men, the 10,000 or 20,000 men that, live in your area. But nowadays, because of social media and online dating, that dating pool exploded. And now you're not just competing with the guys in your area, but literally everybody in the world. So women can be much more picky and selective with who they date. And there are statistics that back this up, by the way. I remember seeing a study that on dating apps, men on average swipe on 50% of women, whereas women swipe on only 5 to 10% of men. So essentially, right, just all the women are chasing after the top 5 to 10% of men. So what's the solution? Well, number one, you got to decide what type of attitude are you going to have? Are you going to sit here and just go, oh, dating is just so hard nowadays and I'm just going to give up. There's no point in trying. Or are you going to say why not me? Why can't I get into that top 10%? Because any guy who puts in some effort can 100% do it. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. Are you going to level up? Are you going to ascend? Or are you just going to make excuses and point the finger?
Women are delusional, and it's actually bad for them too. They just don't see it yet. Thanks for watching Manhood. If you want access to exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it hit home. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. See you tomorrow.